Outlaw Sports is brought to you by Molson Canadian, made from Canada, and Rocky Mountain Barbecue, Alberta barbecue cuisine at its best.
Hi, everybody. We're going to make a quick trip around the world of sports.
We never do anything quick on this show.
That's all right. Two things. You don't want to be quick on the show and you don't want to be...
Okay.
It's great to be back at the Holiday Inn in Moose Jaw. How's your steaks, everybody? My accordion player, Mr. Grant Pollock. Take it away. Accordion solo.
Oh, God.
Halfway mark of the NHL, Grant. Who would your coach of the year...
I got that here somewhere. I did my homework.
Yeah, all that pen. You ran out of ink. two ballpoints and 4 trees into that notepad.
Question is what?
Who's the coach of the year in the NHL?
The coach of the year, Michel Therrien, Montreal Canadiens. Who among us would have picked Montreal to be arguably the best team in the NHL at the halfway point of the season with that roster they had? Michel Therrien.
Okay, I'll go Joel Quenneville because I thought what he's done in Chicago, and I still love what they've done in Chicago after winning the Stanley Cup, throwing everything, all those pieces away, and coming back strong and going on the streak that they did.
How about honorable mentions to Bruce Boudreau, Anaheim, next to Chicago and Montreal, arguably the best team, the best team in the West.
How about Randy Carlyle?
Randy Carlyle too.
You bet.
And Paul McLean in Ottawa. Loses Craig Anderson, a great goalie.
Loses everybody.
Loses Spezza, loses Erik Karlsson. So the top goalie, top forward, top defenseman in the NHL, Erik Karlsson last year.
How good could that team be if they weren't hurt?
So those are pretty obvious choices, right?
I don't want to go through every award, but some of the fun ones. Who do you think would be the MVP so far?
Sidney Crosby.
Yep.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong right there. But to surprise almost MVP would be a guy who plays with Sidney Crosby, Chris Kunitz, kid from Regina. And he played with Anaheim Ducks. And then I think he's third in scoring at some point this week. Third in scoring, right behind Stamkos and Crosby. So Chris Kunitz would be an honorable mention, not going to win, but Sidney Crosby.
Your Stanley Cup contenders, if we had to pick them so far.
Halfway point of the season?
Halfway point.
Well, just remember, first of all, last year at the halfway point, would anybody have picked LA Kings?
No.
No.
Not until they played here against Calgary and showed that defensive style that they had. Boy, they look good.
So you can make predictions right now, and they can hit you in the face.
Oh, sure.
I would say the Boston Bruins have displayed to be the best team with the most balance. They can play it any way you want. They've got it all. They've got cap room. I think to me, that's a team I'd put money on if I went to Vegas right now. Potential Stanley Cup winner.
There is that. I like Boston out of the East, and in the West, I like Anaheim. I like how big and tough they are, and they're getting solid goaltending. That team could be the team to watch in the West.
Does Anaheim keep Corey Perry, though? If Anaheim keeps Corey Perry, yes, Mike, I agree. Anaheim has it all. But at the trade deadline, can they keep Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaf? Oh, can I go?
Yeah,
go on that. Why do people say? Why did I just say? Well, can they keep both players? Well, how does Pittsburgh keep Malkin and Crosby?
Absolutely. Just pay him. Get rid of Bobby Ryan or somebody else like that.
Is it true? Yeah. But why does that come up in the discussion that be creative and make it happen?
Well, just salary-wise and cap room and I guess all that kind of stuff.
But how does Chicago keep Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, Brent Seabrook? So find ways.
Smarter guys than me have to do that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
I like Anaheim too.
Ovechkin, what's happened to this guy? He used to be, him and Sidney are the 2 top players in the NHL. Watching him, he just is playing like he's unenthusiastic. He didn't like what Dale Hunter did with that system last year, even though it won for them. Adam Oates is in there now. They tried him at a different position at the start of the year, moved him back to the other position, but he just does not look like he's engaging. He doesn't look like his compete level is as high as it used to be. And believe me, this guy had a high compete level, stick his nose in place, score goals, set up goals, did everything. This year he's not doing it.
Yeah, I don't know is the answer. I thought Ray Ferraro had something interesting to say this week. He said he doubts that Ovechkin has a high hockey IQ, that he just knows how to play like a bull charging around. And that's what we liked when he played under Bruce Boudreau with the Washington Capitals. Just a crazy going, just hell-bent for leather towards the net and just charging everybody, hitting everybody. But a hockey sense on the ice, peripheral vision, he doesn't seem to have it. That's what Ray Ferraro seems to think, that he just doesn't know how to adapt to be a good all-around hockey
Now,
player.
be a coach and haven't, Ovi, I've never seen a guy skate, shoot, hit like you, but you're not the brightest player we've ever had.
Brightest hockey player. It's a difference. Now, Mike, when he came through Calgary a bunch of years ago and I interviewed him, I was so impressed by his enthusiasm and by his vitality towards the game. He just sat there, he said, I love being in Calgary. This is great, being in a hockey market. And this is about, I don't know, what, 4 years ago maybe. Yeah. And I thought, this is the kind of guy that you want to build a team around. To see him now kind of saddens me a little bit on where he's fallen.
Maybe it's because he's engaged.
Yeah.
It drains a lot.
Women will do that to you.
Well, look at the Toronto Maple Leaf captain situation. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there. Since he started going out with that gal.
Dion Phaneuf's playing pretty well right now.
This is one of his better years.
Right.
Okay. The CFL grant, boy, oh boy, just continue to do things that just make you shake your head.
Well, what's going on wrong there?
Well, first of all, let's just look at, they've handed the Grey Cup back to David Braley again. So what will this be, the third time he's had it? And what?
Well, he owns the league.
I know he owns the league, and when you got two teams, good on you. And he only made like $10 million last year, so that would offset owning the Toronto Argos for a couple of years, I guess. So it's going back.
To Vancouver?
Yeah, it's going back to Vancouver because Winnipeg and that whole stadium mess.
Well, is Winnipeg not ready for the new stadium for this year?
Well, they say they will be, but it's supposed to be last year.
Yeah, no,
but they want to get all the wrinkles out of a grant, so when they do have a Grey Cup, there's not a mess, like they did in Ottawa.
Okay, so the Grey Cup's going back to Vancouver in 2014.
Yes.
And that bothers you?
Well, it just seems that he's got a monopoly on it. But like you said, he owns the league, so what the hell?
So, and that bothers you that he owns two teams?
Well, no, I'm just saying it's just.
So why doesn't he sell it then?
You're right, Grant. Nobody's going to do it. Nobody's going to do it.
Remember when the Stampeders were in trouble? It took about 30 guys in this city to buy the team. Former players had to kick in some money. They had bake sales. They sold cookies.
And then the Flames came along.
So not many people in this country step up to buy CFL teams. So yes, David Braley has a monopoly, Mike, but then at least he's saving the league.
Yeah, fair enough. And then the other thing about the CFL I wanted to talk to you a bit about, Grant, was for the second time in 3 years, we will not see a Labor Day Classic between Hamilton and Toronto.
Oh, no.
No, but it's good to see. Imagine not seeing Stampeders in Edmonton. I like watching that Toronto-Hamilton matchup. It's good to see the East play and the West. I'm just saying, down there, I mean, that Ontario market is just so brutal. I mean, the only thing that's kept them alive is that Grey Cup. I mean, but
so
they can't get the Sky Dome, and Hamilton doesn't have a stadium.
So the Blue Jays are probably playing or something like that, right?
They just wouldn't commit to the CFL.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And Hamilton doesn't have a stadium because they're playing at the University of Guelph or in some field in Ancaster.
They thought about playing some games in Saskatchewan, if you can believe it, but
yeah, I don't think those. Okay. Yeah. So that bothers you that much?
Yeah, it just kind of bugs me.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, just kind of.
It's okay.
I need to get out more.